Are you willing to get involved militarily to defend Taiwan if it comes to that?
Yes.
For the third time in 9 months, the White House aides have also topped Pentagon officials to clarify that the U.S. policy towards Taiwan has not changed. China's foreign ministry expressing its strong dissatisfaction with the president's comments, but the disconnect with the president and his administration is further proof, many say, he is not really in charge.
All right, let's get more on this and welcome in Gordon Chang. He's the author of The Great U.S.-China Tech War and the Coming Collapse of China. Gordon, great to see you.
Great to see you, John.
All right, so the common refrain from the Biden administration: nothing has changed when it comes to the one China policy or our support or lack thereof for Taiwan when it comes to a military invasion. But this was a very long walk to get to a clarification here. And how much damage has been done by this?
I think that there's been great damage to the security, not only of Taiwan, but the United States, because there's only two possible explanations. One of them is that Biden didn't know what he was talking about. If that's the case, then he is unfit to be commander in chief. And Americans should start to ask, would he defend the United States? The other explanation, which I think is more probable, is that when Biden said what he felt, the White House subordinates decided that, just contempt for him, that they undercut him. China then criticized him, and then Biden climbs down, in which case, yes, we get back to the same place where we were supposed to be, and some people say. But the point is that there's been this process which shows the incapability of the United States to appear organized and to appear resolute and capable.
And, given the entirety of the trip, the stop in Japan and everything, what is the biggest takeaway that Biden can bring home from this trip?
I don't know what he can take home from this trip, especially after this, because really the headlines are his inability to handle the Taiwan question, which, whatever one thinks the Taiwan policy should be, we have seen, and this has just demoralized the American public, and I believe it's probably demoralized the region as well when they have seen Biden unable to deal with this. There have been certain things which have been good. So, for instance, in South Korea, there was the announcement that they would go back to large-scale military exercises, which is a really good thing. There was the joint statement with the South Korean president, also a very good thing. And, of course, the meeting with the Quad in Tokyo is good. But nonetheless, we're not going to be talking about that. And people in the region aren't going to be talking about that. They're going to be talking about Biden's incapacity.
Yeah, one more topic we want to discuss with you. It relates to China and the 90-year-old retired Cardinal Joseph Zen from Hong Kong. He's been charged for failing to properly register a protest defense fund. He was among 5 prominent democracy advocates who acted as trustees of this fund and helped pay the legal costs of those arrested during the Hong Kong protests 3 years ago. And we see a political prosecution right here. There's no other way to define this.
Yes. There's a climb down here on the part of the Hong Kong authorities. They charged him under the national security, or they arrested him under the national security law, and they charged him under the society's ordinance, which is a technical violation. But really, I think people have to understand that China intends to eliminate religion in Hong Kong. This is the first step. There's a lot more to go, of course. But nonetheless, people who have faith in Hong Kong should understand that they will be persecuted because that is Beijing's plan. They do it on the mainland, and of course, they're now doing it in Hong Kong as well.
And quickly, Gordon, we also see how far China is willing to go to exert control over Hong Kong. If you look at the COVID cases there, they've fallen off the table. They're not really a big deal anymore, but they are still pushing ahead with this zero COVID policy.
Yes, and really that people in Hong Kong are not happy with that, but this is Beijing determining what Hong Kong should do. And that means Hong Kong should not be considered a separately governed jurisdiction anymore. So, for instance, it shouldn't be in the WTO, World Trade Organization, as a separate customs zone, and all the rest of it. It should be tossed out of all these multilateral organizations.
Yeah, that's one thing that everyone needs to come to grips with is China's role in the WTO and Hong Kong's role in the WTO now that things have changed so drastically. Great to see you as always, Gordon Chang. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, John.